From Mike Moore Media, ask your candidates with local, state, and national candidates in the upcoming election. Our continuing series, and today we're talking to Shannon Bray, Libertarian candidate for the United States Senate. Hey, Shannon.
Hey, how you doing this morning?
I am doing just great. Well, before we talk about any of the issues, I want to talk about you. Who's Shannon Bray? Give us some background, please.
Excellent. Well, I live in Apex, North Carolina. I have a lovely wife and 3 kids. We're a blended family. So, you know, they're, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. So, you know, we're heavily involved in, you know, remote learning and, you know, having kids stay home or go back to school. You know, the whole COVID experience is really been kind of an eye-opener and unforeseen, you know, when we're kind of doing a campaign. But, you know, for me, I've been working remotely for almost a decade for various companies, a lot being, you know, contracting with the federal government as a cybersecurity expert. So my life hasn't necessarily changed a whole lot, but the lives of my family have changed a lot. Mm-hmm. I grew up in South Louisiana, so you know North Carolina and Louisiana have a lot of parallelisms. So I kind of really feel that North Carolina is my home. Outside, I'm a Saints fan, and I hope that doesn't turn too many people off. Okay. But, you know, after high school, you know, I went into the Navy during Desert Storm. Rode around in submarines, did some scuba diving, and ended up leaving the service with a medical injury. But you know, not anything major. But then after that, it was either, you know, picking whether I wanted to be a commercial diver or, you know, going into IT. And, you know, I spent 20 years, you know, mastering the information technology world.
Which is always changing, isn't it? That's for sure.
Absolutely. And, you know, one of the things that I feel that we're really quite underrepresented in, you know, at the national and state levels is our cybersecurity posture, right? We always hear about election security issues, and, you know, just recently they announced, although we've known about it for a while, you know, Iran and Russia getting a hold of voter data. Mm-hmm. You know, but as someone who has a DoD clearance, you know, my information has been in the Chinese hands now for several years already when the federal government got hacked. So there is a number of things that I feel like I bring to the table to really kind of help build a stronger posture from the security aspect, but people don't realize how vulnerable we are, or they might realize it, they just have bigger issues that they're worried about. So one of the things that I try to do is educate people on the pluses and the minuses of, you know, cybersecurity and information technology without trying to be a fear monger at the same time. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, most people just aren't ready to hear the darkness of the cybersecurity issues. And then even if they are there, you know, we have privacy issues from our own government as well that, you know, need to be addressed. You know, we've just expanded the Patriot Act again. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I just don't feel that we should be collecting data on American citizens without their knowledge and without them controlling their own data. In fact, that's one of the things that are on my platform is, you know, personal data, being able to control your own data, very much like Europe does. You know, if you go to an organization there, you'd be like, hey, what information do you have on me? They're required to tell you, and if you say, hey, get rid of that, they're required to do that. But here, you know, they just sell it. In fact, they've gotten very good at mining it. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of these platforms, you know, the reason why they're free is because we voluntarily give up our privacy, and then they're able to sell it. So there's just a lot of things there that it would be nice to be able to go, hey, you know what? I didn't realize I was putting my information into that bucket. I would like it out. There's no way for us to do that under U.S. laws.
Mm-hmm. Once it's there, it's there. Well, it sounds like your perspective with cybersecurity and your military background, that you bring something to the table that is very important and that others don't bring to the table.
Yeah, I'm one of my biggest passions is veteran services. You know, I've been involved with several programs. The U.S. Naval Sea Cadet Corps, which is a youth program, the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, the Coast Guard. I served in the Navy myself, but I've lost friends over the years. I've had friends of friends that I've lost, that we've lost, or children, you know, and sending our youth to war is something that we shouldn't have done it to begin with, but to bring it in to, you know, over a 20-year mark is just absolutely ridiculous. And so one of the things that I would like to do is end these wars, stop sending our tax-paying dollars overseas, and then use that money for programs that actually help us, or reduce our taxes. You know, so or actually both. We spend so much money in other countries that we have no idea we're even doing, and a lot of it's for political gain. And I don't ever want to lose another friend for a political war. You know, we should be here to defend our country, to take care of you know, any national defense issues. But at the same time, you know, it seems like we go and meddle in everyone else's business, and then we get mad when they get mad at us. Mm-hmm. So you know, I've kind of grown into the, I don't want to say I'm anti-war, but I am I definitely feel that if we choose to go to war, that it should be voted on by Congress, and not have all of these back doors to where we're able to go and, you know, put ourselves in, and put our children in the harm's way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand completely. Let's stay here on the home front for a little bit. With all of the unrest in the country, give us your take on where we are in that, and how you see things in the future with your thoughts on that, Shannon.
To me, the unrest is really started around the 2008 era. You know, if you look at the political maps around 2008, you know, the Republicans and Democrats really weren't that far apart. But over the years, you kind of see the ideologies and tactics get further and further to where now there's this huge divide. Now, some people will blame it on a particular candidate. I personally feel that it's really the introduction of how people started using social media, you know, being able to hide behind a keyboard, really starting to express their thoughts. And then you have trolling, and, you know, you have all of these aspects that come from a free society that are causing a lot of the division. Now, as a libertarian myself, I have many views that are Republican, and I also have many views that are Democratic. So I feel like I'm a natural bridge builder to where the Libertarians and Libertarian Party, they fill in that massive gap between the Republican and the Democrats that seem to be getting further and further apart. So that's really kind of the landscape that I see. I'm hoping, you know, that we're able to find a place to where we can start healing. I'm not necessarily feeling either candidate at the presidential level, and I'm talking about Trump and Biden specifically, that they're actually able to do that. But that's one of the reasons why I've put all my support behind Dr. Joe. Not necessarily just because she's a libertarian, but her policies actually bridge the gap between, the Republican and the Democratic duopoly model that doesn't seem to be working for us right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's talk about the candidates, Tillis and Cunningham, and don't hear much about Hayes, but the other two, wow, the TV ads are just crazy, and don't see a lot of things out there about the Libertarian Party, but maybe your take on that, because I know we talked a little bit before we did the program.
Sure, yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, just between Cal and Tom, they've spent over $250 million in media spots in the state of North Carolina. Now, me personally, that drives me absolutely nuts because that's wasted money. Right? One of these people are going to lose. They've spent millions of dollars. We're going to have absolutely nothing to show for it. And that's money I feel like could have really helped, North Carolina and their broadband issue, or homeless vets, or, anything other than TV spots. One of the reasons why I'm running for the Senate is, because of Tom Tillis. As a Republican, I kind of expected him to back our military. But then he, sent $80 million that was earmarked for base repairs because of hurricane damage, off to a wall that really hasn't been as fruitful as promised. But yet our state still suffered the hit, and that's money we're not getting back. In fact, Mitch McConnell had the opportunity to make the same deal because he has military bases there, and he elected to keep the money. So I kind of really feel like that Tom Tillis let us down. If it was just Tom and Cal running, then I would have naturally went for the veteran, feeling that he would have been the champion to help with veteran services, because that's my number one, where my heart is. But then, just recently, October 1, I think it was, his sexting thing came out. Then it was followed up with, once girlfriend number one found out about girlfriend number two, Cal's campaign almost blew up, right? It's actually helped my campaign quite a lot. I've had a lot of people who wouldn't have normally looked at a third party, starting to research, and ask me questions. And some people still want to hold their politicians to a higher standard. And, both Tom and Cal, in my opinion, are not poised to really help us in the future. I mean, we've already seen Tom fail. And if Cal's wife can't trust him, I don't think North Carolina can either.
Yeah. Well, we only have about 30 seconds left, Shannon. So maybe some closing thoughts, please.
Yeah. In closing thoughts, everybody's vote counts. It's extremely important that you vote for who you believe in and not necessarily party lines. There's no such thing as a wasted vote. I would appreciate your support if possible. We're trying to get the Libertarian Party to the debate stage, and that requires 15% in polling. So anytime you can help get us towards that, get us to the debate stage, you're actually helping to improve to remove the duopoly and give America a better choice.
Shannon, I appreciate your time on the program as a voice for personal freedom. Thank you. All the best in the campaign.
Thank you very much for having me, and I appreciate you.
Thanks again. Shannon Bray, Libertarian candidate for the United States Senate. Get more information on this program is paid for by the Libertarian Party of Rockingham County, and you can get more information on their Facebook page at facebook.com/RockLPNC.